Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm looking at the Amber Heard interview. Let's see what she's got to say for herself.
It's been about more than a week since the verdict. As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in?
I mean, just by looking at her, firstly, look at her bloody makeup. It looks like she's been hit in the side of the face. She's got so used to putting her makeup on that way, she can't stop doing it now. Look at the hair and the makeup. She's gone full-blown Karen, hasn't she? Like, that's how Karen does her makeup. Karen Heard. And for those of you who don't know what a Karen is, Google it. She's disappointed there wasn't any kids to take. Oh shit, we're in for the Amber Heard acting show again, aren't we? Let's just try and get through this interview without it being such a burden. I am a victim, but I'm not going to admit to being a victim.
How could it?
Look at her smile. She's not even answering the question. She says, how could it? So instead of answering the question, she asks a question back with a bloody smile on her face after doing a pantomime huff. I don't know if I can sit through this. I'm already 12 seconds in and I've already had enough.
Surreal.
Yeah, surreal.
And difficult. In part, yes. This has been a long time coming.
I think Amber Heard, through osmosis, has copied Johnny Depp a lot. And Johnny Depp tends to have a lot of pauses in his speech, but she hasn't integrated them into her mimicry that well.
This has been a long time coming.
Even my camera stand had enough of hearing her.
Do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse? Of course.
Oh.
To my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
I mean, I expected that because no matter what happens, Amber Heard is going to be a victim. No matter what happens, she'll be a victim of anything.
Will stand by every word of my testimony.
Which part of it? The part where you said you'd never hurt him, or the part where you say you hit him, but wasn't really hitting him?
Right, Ms. Heard? I could never hurt Johnny, and I swung at him. I hadn't landed a blow, and I hit him. Like, actually hit him. Square in the face. I could never hurt Johnny. 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 I think vast majority of this trial was played out on social media.
No, I think the vast majority of this trial was played out in a courtroom.
And the jury is not immune to that. You think the jury saw it? How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible.
Well, they could very easily not. There's so many things to say here. I don't know if this is going to be a very good reaction because she's just so full of shit. And I can pick her up on every minute thing that she's doing wrong. And I haven't got the strength. It's a hot day. I'm doing this because of the love of YouTube and I'm consistent. Look at her stupid fucking face. And the words that are coming out of her mouth.
It would have been impossible to avoid this.
It would have been impossible to have avoided this. Is that true? Would it have been impossible? Like, you dated Elon Musk. He's creating things that are impossible. What's impossible is believing a word that comes out of this woman's mouth.
3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying, burn the witch, death to Amber. After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand.
Again, there's so many things to say about that. The burn the witch thing, I believe, was a Monty Python sketch.
And saw just a courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans.
It wasn't a Comic-Con convention, Amber. It's not just the jury. It's the people that were sitting in the audience. It's the people that were watching live at home. Nobody fucking believes you. We all know you're full of shit, but you don't seem to know it. I think this is where she lacks like the functioning of the mirror neurons in the brain, and she can't empathise with other people. See, if she could empathise, then she'd be able to manipulate people better. But because she's just so terrible at empathy, she can't see things from somebody else's point of view to counter-correct. She'll lie and just assume that you believe in it because she thinks that you're fucking stupid. Someone that's more clever and empathetic and devious will be able to get away with it a lot better than what she has. Because she was saying all sorts of shit that was just totally unbelievable, and she's still saying it now. And if she's standing by everything that she said, and what she said was classed as defamatory, and she's going to keep saying it till her dying day, isn't that going to cause a problem? Isn't she just going to keep defaming then? It hasn't really stopped her from doing the behaviour.
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through.
Is that true? And you heard what she went through in the relationship with Johnny Depp.
You testified that you were also raped with a liquor bottle in Australia, right, Miss Heard?
Yes.
You testified you bled from your vagina as a result of that sexual assault.
Yes.
You know what he did with the bottle? He stuck it up inside of her genitals, and she was all bleeding and cut on the inside. And she didn't seek medical help or take photos. She was so traumatised by it.
There aren't any medical records reflecting that you sought medical treatment for any of these injuries, are there?
I did not seek medical treatment after Australia, no.
Not for the rape?
No.
Not for the cuts?
No.
Not for the injuries to your face?
I didn't need to.
But what people say on social media is the most traumatising thing that's ever happened to her.
And you testified that you had a bruise across your jaw from when Mr. Depp, quote, clocked you in the face, end quote.
That's true.
Surely getting punched in the face with all those rings on that Johnny Depp wears would be more traumatic to you in some ways.
You testified to another incident in March where Mr. Depp hit you while he was wearing a lot of rings. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
And you testified you felt like your lip went through your teeth and it got a little blood on the wall.
Yes.
Right? You didn't show
don't-
any pictures to this jury after describing that incident, right?
I don't believe I've seen that picture admitted.
That picture doesn't exist.
I don't know which one you're talking about. We have pictures from March 2013, yes.
That's the only picture you've shown to this jury from March 2013, correct?
I believe so.
When he was standing on your back, when you had glass in your feet, all the shit that you were saying that happened, let's assume that it did. Surely that would have been more traumatic, no?
And you told this jury that on this occasion, Mr. Depp was kneeling on your back.
That's correct, in the closet.
I thought I probably had a concussion and certainly that I had a broken nose. There was blood everywhere, blood all over the pillows. My head was bleeding from the ripped out hair, chunks of hair on the floor, all over the place actually.
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through.
Like, Amber Heard wants attention. That's all she wants, and she'll do anything to get attention. So she's still winning. Loads of people are making videos about this. The news are broadcasting it. I'm even making this video about this. So she's getting what she wants. She's getting attention. The reason why I'm covering it is because I'm using an example of what not to do and how people do manipulate you. And that there are people like this that exist in the world. And a lot of them are female, it turns out. It's called reputation destruction. It's a form of aggression, and she'll keep being a victim until she gets what she wants.
I have never felt more removed from my own humanity.
What people say on TikTok is more traumatic than domestic violence and sexual assaults. Is that right, Amber?
I felt less than human.
More or less dehumanizing than when he stuck a bottle up your vagina.
Let's go back to the day of the verdict. Were you feeling confident?
But then we get this pantomime huff again. The victim huff.
That's a great question.
It is a great question. What's the fucking answer, bitch?
I wish I could say yes.
Were you feeling confident? Yeah, I was feeling quite confident. I thought we'd made a good case for ourselves. We'd put it across well. I was very proud of my lawyers. No, to be honest, I wasn't actually feeling that confident. I didn't feel like my lawyers represented me that well. I even walked out at one point when I shouldn't have done, and I was just, I was panicking the whole time. There's two answers. One's yes, one's no.
I wish I could say yes to that.
I wish I could say yes. Let me just try a bit of Amber Heard acting here. That's a great question. I wish I could have said yes.
I want to say yes to you, but it would.
I want to say yes. I want to say yes to you. Does she realise this is being recorded? Yeah, I want to say yes to that, but it just wouldn't be true. That's a better way of saying it. Just the way she's saying it with these dramatic pauses every fucking sentence.
Even if you think that I'm lying,
Even if you think that I'm lying,
you still couldn't tell me,
you still couldn't tell me.
look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media,
Look me in the eye.
there's been a fair.
You think on social media. What's this fucking thing with a mouth? I mean, I've heard of Duper's Delight. I'm going to label this Dickhead's Delight.
There was another trial,
There was another trial.
handled it dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in. In fact, my evidence was largely kept out.
My evidence was largely kept out because the terrible acting, the bad scripting, the dramatic pauses, there's just constant horse shit. It's really difficult to listen to this. The disingenuousness of the whole thing. It's the opposite of sincerity. It's fake sincerity. It makes you want to vomit.
Really important pieces of evidence kept out.
Well, all the medical records where you said you were sexually assaulted, that was kept out.
You testified that you were also raped with a liquor bottle in Australia, right, Miss Heard?
Yes.
You testified you bled from your vagina as a result of that sexual assault.
Yes.
There aren't any medical records reflecting that you sought medical treatment for any of these injuries, are there?
I did not seek medical treatment after Australia, no.
Not for the rape?
No.
Not for the cuts?
No.
Not for the injuries to your face?
I didn't need to.
Really important pieces of evidence kept out.
You testified that after this alleged incident, you had cuts on your forearms, right?
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had cuts on the bottoms of your feet as well.
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had a bruise across your jaw from when Mr. Depp, quote, clocked you in the face, end quote.
That's true.
You didn't take any pictures of these injuries while you were in Australia, did you?
No, I don't think I took any pictures.
Really important pieces of evidence kept out.
Some evidence is admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
You also understand that you're under an obligation to produce all medical records reflecting any injuries you allegedly sustained from Mr. Depp, correct?
That's correct.
And you haven't produced any pictures or any medical records reflecting a broken nose after the Met Gala in May of 2014, have you?
I have given everything to my lawyers. Everything. I've turned over literally everything that I have.
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
For some people,
The real issues, they went thoroughly over the issues of what they were there for, which was the defamation.
they just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you.
No, I don't think that's true. I think that Justice for Johnny has been a campaign that's been going on for a while, and because people feel sorry for Johnny. And I hate it when they do that. I hate it when one person's been an abusive dickhead and then the victim reacts badly to it because they've been abused constantly for so long, and then go, oh, well, they're just both as bad as each other. I hate it when they fucking do that. Johnny Depp didn't go into this relationship thinking, oh, I've got such a great life and a great career, I can do anything that I want, I'm a multi-millionaire, world famous, everybody loves me, got this great franchises going, got an island somewhere, so I'm this cool, handsome dude that can do whatever the fuck I like. I wonder how I could fuck that up. I want to be bankrupt and have everyone hate me.
Can you understand that?
Absolutely.
You see, if she was a real victim, would she understand that? Oh yeah, he sexually assaulted me, but I can absolutely understand the fact that, you know, he called me names is the same as a sexual assault, because we're both as bad as each other. It's not, it's all backwards, this.
I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is Hollywood brats at their worst.
Sexual assault is Hollywood brats at their worst. Does Amber remember the shit that she was coming out with?
But what people don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that.
I mean, given the fact that she's had a broken nose and that she's had a cut lips and her face smashed in, She's not looking too bad, all things considered, but then again, like she said, she's got makeup on, so it just magically heals everything. She's like Rocky Balboa.
But here's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation. And that was the issue in the case.
Yes,
And that's why you lost.
exactly. You can't go into, the free speech does not protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire.
Or go into a news article and shout domestic violence.
It's not just the freedom to speak. It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
Oh, fuck me. She was the one that had the power in the fucking relationship.
You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was.
You're here in this courtroom because Mr. Depp finally told the world that he is a victim of domestic violence.
I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
You didn't think he would tell the world he was a victim of domestic violence, did you?
You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up,
Did you
Johnny.
start physical fights?
I did start a physical
Yeah,
fight.
you did, so I had
Because
to get the fuck out of there.
yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
But truth is the word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke.
At what point? Which part was true out of all the contradicting things that you said?
But truth is the word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke.
Her fucking face.
And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
She's going to defame everyone. What does she mean, power? Who is power? Is it Johnny Depp?
And I spoke it to power,
Is it the court?
and I spoke it to power.
Is it the jury? Is it the people on social media that were watching it? Who is the power? It can't just be the fact that you fucking lied.
So in October of 2018, you had received your entire $7 million divorce settlement. You would agree with me.
That is correct.
So in this October 2018 interview, you said that you had, quote, donated, end quote, your entire divorce settlement to charity, right?
That's correct.
And in fact, your exact words were, quote, $7 million in total was donated, but you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
So as of today, you have not donated, paid $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those obligations yet.
And that's because you did want something.
I didn't want anything and I didn't get anything.
You wanted Mr. Depp's money.
It can't just be the fact that you lied and now you're doubling down on everything. No, it can't be that she's full of shit. She's speaking the truth to power. So brave, so strong, so noble, so brave, so strong, so noble, so truthful, so needed, so representing women.
The Depp lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting.
Yeah, a shit performance of a lifetime.
What do you say to that?
I call it Amber slurred.
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
Fucking hell. Nobody believes that Johnny Depp really has scissors for fingers. No one is convinced of that. They know he's an actor in a film acting out a role of a character called Edward. Nobody is convinced. The lawyers are related to a guy that acted in a film that pretended he had scissors for hands. It's so far removed. Is she taking the piss now? It sounds like an episode of South Park. Says the lawyer of the man that convinced the world he had scissors for hands.
For the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
It wasn't Edward Scissorfingers. You fucking dickhead. At least know his films. It was Scissor Hands, you twat. Get that right at least. Speak that truth to power. It is Scissor Hands. I'm speaking the truth to Amber.
I'm the performer.
Yes, you are. And you're shit at it. You should get an Academy Award for Worst Actress.
I had listened to weeks of testimony insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress.
You are.
So I'm a bit confused.
Fucking. Look at her face there. Every time I pause this, she's pulling a stupid fucking face. Now, I know that could be said for a lot of people, but she just... getting that shit acting out.
I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
Oh, it's very simple, Amber. You're a shit actress, so you're shit. That's good. That's shit. And it is the performance of your lifetime. Throughout all your life, this is because you're acting, because you're lying, because you're acting when you're saying that you're telling the truth in a court of law. That's why it's the performance of a lifetime. Because when people act, they usually don't make any money or they get paid. It costs you to act badly because you lost a defamation case. That's what it's performance of a lifetime. Johnny Depp performs in the cinema pretending that he has scissors for hands for millions of pounds, and you perform in a courtroom under oath when you should be telling the truth and you lose millions of pounds. That's why he's great and you're a fucking shit muncher.
The Depp team argued that you were the abuser, that you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it.
I never had to instigate it, I responded to it. Well, we all know that's a load of bullshit, don't we?
You are such a baby! Grow the fuck up,
Did you
Johnny!
start physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did, so I had
Because-
to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
It's not just what she says. Listen to her tone of voice in those recordings.
You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was.
This arrogant, ignorant, condescending bitch.
But truth is the word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price. When you're living in violence and it becomes normal, as I testified to, you have to adapt.
Adapting to living in violence. No, she's just being an arsehole.
You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you.
There are tapes in which you say, I started the fight.
I know much has been made of these audio tapes. They were...
Oh, much has been made of these audio tapes. What, the fucking evidence that won? I can't. I'm gonna sit through the video, but I'm getting a little rattled.
What you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening.
Oh, so what you hear in those clips aren't evidence of what was happening?
It was evidence of a negotiation.
Oh, it's a negotiation.
You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up,
Did you start
Johnny.
physical?
I've had to talk about that
I've had to talk about it. She's so fucking angry
with your abuser.
with your abuser.
He says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. I mean, this is in black and white. I understand context.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like Johnny Depp was trying to avoid a violent situation, and she was trying to escalate one. No matter who's responsible for it, that's the best thing to do, is to avoid it, because you've got to go where you're treated best. And you don't, if you see a fight going on, you don't want to go into it. You want to go away from it.
But you're testifying and you're just telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
And that's because she's lying again. It's just because both can't be true, can they? So she's lying about something, isn't she?
As I testified on the stand about this,
As I testified on the stand about it.
is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take...
When your life is at risk, not only will you do this. I hate it when people do that. Like, they talk about as if the average person would do that.
Not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say,
You had the most amount of resources. You're with a multi-millionaire. He has his own island. He has multiple homes. He wasn't even in the country when you filed for the restraining order. If she didn't have the resources, who the hell in the world does? There wasn't enough resources between them for her to get away. No. She's going to plead poverty. She's going to plead poverty.
Or I do, with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it.
But Doug, you sexy bastard, that's financial. But emotionally she was attached. Emotionally she was treating him like a piece of shit.
You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was.
It's the victim that says they couldn't leave. She was the abuser. Imagine if it was the other way around and Amber Heard was a guy, Andy Heard, and he started a physical fight on the girl, on Johnny Depp, and let's make her a girl, and let's make him a girl, Janine Depp. And Andy started punching Janine, and Janine tries to get away, and Andy says, come back, I wasn't punching you, I was hitting you. And Janine's like, look, if there's going to be violence, I'm going to have to go, because I don't want to be hit. You stay in the fight. And then Andy turns around as the perpetrator and says, I didn't have enough resources to get away, I had to stay in the game.
With the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it.
Well, yeah, it is black and white because something either happened or it didn't happen, and you either leave or you stay. The door's just fucking there. You can leave. Goodbye. It's not a problem.
But then there are other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, oh, tell the world, John.
Taunting is a very good word. That's exactly what she was doing. But you can't get away when you're in an abusive relationship. You have to taunt somebody. There's nowhere to go. Like, the abuser shouldn't be complaining that they can't leave the abusive relationship.
Hey, Depp, I, a man, am a victim of domestic violence.
Look, see, she gets it. I love it when they get a woman to interview a woman, because then it just shows you that it's got nothing to do with sex, has it? Because I sometimes say things and people go, oh, well, you hate women. I despise this kind of behaviour, whether it's in a man or a woman. And the woman that's conducting the interview, in this case, she's doing a good job. She's holding her feet to the fire.
20-second clips or the transcripts of them are not representative of even the 2 hours or the 3 hours that those clips are excerpt from.
Oh my God.
Could your side have just put the whole 3 hours in then?
I'm not a lawyer.
Of course she's not a lawyer. Oh, fuck. It says on a CV actress, but she's not even that either, really.
As I testified to, I was talking in those recordings as a person in extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress.
Emotional, psychological, physical, spiritual, robotic stress.
He
And
says
it
he
doesn't-
never hit you.
He can't-
Never. Is
yeah.
that a lie?
Yes, it is.
Because we should believe her. Because we should believe all Ambers.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in and lie in court?
I am not here to call any of.
No, you're just here to defame everybody. The people watching at home, the juror, the people that gave evidence. Like, yeah, everyone's wrong. But Amber, in her muddled up testimony, which is completely contradictory to one another, is speaking the absolute truth.
His witnesses, any names. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as a person who
What it felt like for me.
sat there.
When I asked his lawyers, why do you think you won? And the answer I got was,
Because we're fucking awesome.
because she never took responsibility for anything she did in the marriage.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things
Oh, well, there you go. So shouldn't you be a bit more humble then?
throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways.
Well, to me, you seem completely predictable and in keeping with character.
There's so much, I have so much regret. I freely and openly and voluntarily talked about what I did.
She says everything with the same detachment of emotion. Like when she's trying to cry about something that didn't happen, or whether she's pretending to be sorry about something that she doesn't regret, her whole demeanour is the fucking same. There's no emotion. There's just a load of melodramatic expressions. It's very bizarre.
I talked about the horrible language. I talked about being pushed to the extent where I didn't even know the difference between, right and wrong. I will always continue to feel like I was a part of this, like I was the other half of this relationship, because I was. And it was ugly and could be very beautiful. It was very, very toxic.
That's why she huffs, isn't it? Because she has to listen to herself all day long.
We were awful to each other.
Johnny Depp doesn't sound like he was awful to anybody.
I made a lot of mistakes.
What, like take all the divorce money, say that you're going to give it to charity, and then you never do and keep it? And you get a restraining order on a guy that isn't even in the country?
A lot of mistakes. But I've always told the truth.
There's a text message where Johnny promises total global humiliation for you. Do you feel like that came true?
I know he promised it. I testified to this. I'm not a good victim, I get it. I'm not a likable victim. I'm not a perfect victim, but...
You're not a victim at all.
When I testified, I asked the jury to just see me as human and hear his own words.
She did so much of that fucking Jim Carrey shit throughout this thing.
Having been found liable, are you nervous, as we are here today, about what you can say now?
Of course.
Of course. How could I not? How could I go on saying things? How could I?
I took for granted what I assumed was my right to speak.
You have a right to speak. You just don't have a right to lie about people.
Do you feel like you could be sued again by him for defamation?
I'm scared that no matter what I do, no matter what I say or how I say it, every step that I take will present another opportunity for this sort of silencing.
It's not silencing. It's the opposite of silencing. We heard everything that happened in your fucking relationship, and you look like a dickhead. An abusive dickhead.
Which is what I guess the defamation lawsuit is meant to do. It's meant to take your voice.
I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was.
Meant to take your voice.
I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Meant to take your voice.
You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up.
We heard so much shit from behind closed doors that no one should have been involved with. Depp even said it in the trial. But because she's got no fucking shame, because she doesn't have any guilt.
Meant to take your voice.
Life had seemingly moved on, and you decide to write an op-ed. Why did you do that?
Because the op-ed wasn't about my relationship with Johnny.
But it...
Like, even a child can maintain a narrative when they're telling a lie.
But it alluded to him. It was unmistakable.
What the op-ed was about was, me loaning my voice to a bigger cultural conversation that we were having at the time.
Did you worry? Gosh, I'd love to be a person weighing on...
I'm just going to let this shit flow over me. I don't even know if I'm going to react anymore, because what is there to react to? It's just a load of horseshit.
Cultural issue.
I obviously knew it was important for me not to make it about him.
Oh, well, if it wasn't about him, that would have been easy then, yeah?
Or to do anything like defame him. I had lawyers, teams of lawyers.
Shit lawyers. And you just lost millions of pounds because of it.
Review all the drafts of this.
When you wrote this op-ed, it was the height of Me Too. Legions of powerful men being canceled, losing their jobs. Did you want that to happen to Johnny Depp?
Of course not. Of course not. With them. I didn't want this to be out. I didn't want this to be known. I didn't want to cooperate with them because I didn't want this to be, I didn't want to get him in trouble.
Well, don't get a restraining order then.
But 5 days later, you went to court and it came out.
5 days later, I made the decision to stand up for myself and protect myself.
Okay, I'm all right.
An employee of TMZ testified at court and said that TMZ was tipped off about when you were going to be going to the courthouse and on what side of your face bruises would be apparent. Did you tip off TMZ?
I was going to say, he certainly didn't get tipped off by me or anyone in my...
you know tip off TMZ?
Why would they? No.
You ask no one to do that.
As I testified to before, it had nothing to do with me.
You had promised to donate $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity.
You fucking didn't do it, you lying bitch.
You haven't done so yet.
No, she's pledged it, so therefore she's done it.
However, they played a tape where you stayed on the air that you have donated it. Do you think that raised questions as to your credibility with the jury?
I made a pledge, and that pledge is made over time by its nature. And
When you say I donated, you know that everybody thinks that you've donated.
Imagine if I went into a store and bought a chocolate bar, which I might do after this fucking thing, and I walked out and the alarms went off and the security guard came over and said, "Excuse me, have you paid for that?" And I said, "Yes, I've pledged it." Donate equals paid. A pledge is just your word that you're going to do something. And in Amber's case, that means fuck all.
The jurors sitting there, do you think they felt like that was you getting caught in a lie?
I don't know, because I feel like so much of the trial was meant to cast aspersions on who I am as a human.
Amber's this beautiful little fucking buttercup, like fairy that just flutters around doing no harm to anyone. Just like a feather in the wind, just this beautiful person just wandering through the world, and everyone's out to get her, and the power and the system and the fucking... And she's got no way of defending herself against that, and she didn't ask for that. And she's had to be strong because she doesn't want to be seen as a victim, so that's why she's had to become violent.
How do you see your future now?
I get to be a mom.
Oh, fucking hell, don't let her anywhere near kids. Take the kid away. Just fucking, I'll call social services now. She should not be trusted anywhere near children.
Mom, like full time, where I'm not having to juggle calls with lawyers.
One day you may want to tell your daughter about this or have to tell your daughter.
Did she give birth or did she adopt? Because I don't remember seeing her pregnant.
About everything that you've gone through. What would you want to say?
I think no matter what, it will mean something. I did the right thing. I did everything I could
To be a dickhead.
to stand up for myself and the truth.
On the first day of the trial, you issued a statement, and part of the statement said, "I still have love for Johnny."
Yes,
Is that still true?
yes,
After everything?
absolutely.
Fucking hell. Well, you know what? I really feel the love. Doesn't, watching this trial, it just felt like an overwhelming amount of love.
Absolutely. I love him. I loved him with all my heart. And I tried the best I could to make a deeply broken relationship work. And I couldn't. I have no bad feelings or ill will towards him at all.
Still not one tear. It's been months now and we still haven't seen one tear from this bitch.
Be hard to understand, or it might be really easy to understand. If you've just ever loved anyone, it should be easy.
It might be hard to understand, it might be easy to understand, da 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 da. I'm sorry I've been a bit sarcastic during watching this, and I'm sorry that I haven't reacted very well or said very insightful, valuable things, but I only just made it through. That was 15 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back again. Now, if you're a single guy and you want to go out and you want to start dating girls and stuff off Tinder and Bumble and all that kind of stuff, and you want to make sure that you don't want to get into a relationship with a woman like this, you want to avoid an Amber, the best thing I can offer you is my video product, which is called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success, so that you date a woman that is decent as opposed to a woman like this that's going to destroy your life. Here's the advert. Hello, my name is Doug and I've created a video tutorial called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. The reason why I've created this product is to help those men out there who are dating online but are not getting the replies or getting the dates that they desire. My product will teach you what to message a girl, what not to message a girl, when to message a girl, how to respond when you're not sure what to write, what to do if she doesn't reply, how to get her phone number, and how to communicate to get online dating success. If you're getting matches and no success, this product is for you. It's what you need to do today to start getting success with your matches. I'll also be talking about other issues such as how to spot red flags, identify time wasters, to stay out the friend zone, how to deal with ghosting, simmering and icing. Not only will I be giving you exactly what you need, copy and paste, I'll also be explaining to you the reason why I'm writing what I'm writing so you can understand the psychology and know what behaviours to look out for and which ones to avoid. This product is packed with value. I've tried to cram as much as I can into a short amount of time as possible while being the most informative. If you're a man and you're confused and frustrated with what to text with online dating, this product is the solution for you to get more dates in less time. Click the link in the description box below to buy the product and change your dating life forever.